And my friends of Olympic Games, as yesterday these games have commenced in London, and due to some hidden synchronicity or whatever, or similarity, analogical relationship between my body and the locus anemones here at the shores of the Lake Constant, and maybe with the distant Greek gods, the spirit of Olympic Games has entered into my body and into my soul as I was walking in the morning to the lake, preparing for some unknown surprise. And as I touched with my feet the soft, fresh dew of the green grass on the shore, as I took the fresh breath of the morning air after 3 days of hot weather, as I have raised my hands to the dark clouds, but the sun yet was coming, Om Bhuva, I have felt the spirit of the games, of the Olympic gods, and of all the gods of ancient times and goddesses coming into my body. And I have said, this is it, this may be it, so let's incarnate the old Olympic spirit about whom only few know, and the essence of it is kalogagatia, that you may find out in the dictionaries what is kalos and what is agathos. And when these all unite, then you have the arete, the perfection of the moment in which your body unites with the elementary forces, the old titans of the Greek mythology. The fresh morning dew licks your feet and the fresh morning air burns in your lungs, and it rises in your blood into your brain and performs the secret holy marriage, the heros gamos of the human body and the greater body of the Mother Earth. And then, as you are very well aware of the uniqueness of your body and mine, and the moment and the place, then you raise it into an anthropomorphic level, and you then really become one with the gods, because they are also anthropomorphic, in the Greek mythology. And so this spirit has been lost in the modern times, where the numbers and the competition, the old Greek argon is not forgotten, but we have to wait for him to come to descend on the competitors, not from the very beginning. They should first serve the gods, open their souls and bodies, maybe even a sacrifice to Apollo or to whomever this race is being held, to sacrifice to Apollo some melody, a poem or whatever, play a short sequence on some harp or guitar, and then ritually, so to say, perform some exercises so that they wait, and then when they feel they are being accepted by the gods and the arete is rising in their body, then they should come to and start the race. Okay. Well, this naturally would not be so predictable and systematic as the present day mare geometrico asks for, and but yet it would maybe be inspirational if the participants and the visitors, the guests, could somehow mix and mingle in a series of small temples where on a vast, beautiful natural area, which may have been painted by some constable or whom, whatever, who like these great romantic landscapes of Arcadia, then they would perform these rituals and the spirit would jump over. Okay, so this was just a kind of mixture of Olympic ideas that were traveling and circling and twisting through my body. I was approaching this place, and then, okay, I let the gods show me how it could have been like, yeah? This phase, this stage of preparation, yeah? So that the Holy Symanchie, or how is it called exactly, where after preparation and long term of exercise and worship and sacrifice, the God has looked down upon this particular man as he was getting ready for the race, and then he said, now I will enter this body because this is the most perfect possible approximation to my goddess or a godness, godlike essence. And then this man would be overwhelmed with a passionate ecstasy and would jump higher than all of them, would run faster than all of them. And yet he would be aware, this is not mine. I am not going to stand as a proud winner on the pedestal and receive some sponsorship offers. No, I will, in my honesty and admiration for the God, when I win the race, I will immediately go to the temple or to the altar that is nearby and offer sacrifice. Okay, so, and yes, this has proved to be rather difficult in the modern times, since the ego and the speeding of time and the sharp power on consciousness has penetrated the body, as trying to make it somehow a machine for victory, a kind of accountable and measurable something which will then be calculated and used in the economical process. Yeah. So, by the way, yesterday as I was listening to the radio, I heard a few sentences of some British sports professor who said, well, probably it will not be possible to raise the performance of the human body so quickly now, because some limits have been achieved of this pressure in the muscles and sinews, and so we cannot expect somebody to run 100 meters below 9.33 or something like that. Well, and no word about the soul, no word about kalos and agathos, no word about arete and this holy mystery of uniting the human body and soul with those of Mother Gaia and Uranus and the gods, no? And the kind of positive influence which this could have on the young people of today who are searching desperately for models of behavior, which could be a real rebirth of European values, which we could proudly raise up, as we would be again a nation and one big culture of heroes and poets and artists and sportsmen and women, naturally. Which problem I leave to those women who know much more than I do, like, for example, Mrs. Anna Hogenova, who has written a valuable book, The Olympic Philosophy, which, as you have noticed, is the background of my ideas here. which were naturally, these ideas were living in my body for many years, have been living in my body for many years. Yet to find a cognitive framework to express them, you need to read the works of great philosophers of European history. Okay, so, and as I have said, the human body has been mapped and dissected and anatomized, okay, and used in the process of production, and it seems to me that sport has become a kind of production of measurable results also. So to have something against it in my body, I use the technique of Qigong and the breathing techniques of yoga and Qigong united, so that this becomes a kind of meditation of all the cells of my body, okay, with the elements. Yeah. I use also the knowledge of the elementary Eros of Ludwig Klages, which postulates that in the moment of union of the soul with the unseen images or Urbilder of the locus, of the place where the exercise is taking place, at the same time the perceptions of the body, of the individual ayatanas, of the individual doors of perception, if we use also the Vedanta knowledge. Okay, so you have these perceptions of the body that enter through the eyes and the nose and the skin and the ear. Okay. And as the spirit of the place is already loving your soul, there they unite, as life is composed of two harmonious poles of body and soul, okay? And then you will experience this holy marriage, this Eros Gamos of your soul with the oversoul of the locus, of the place, and the holy marriage of your body with the elementary forces of the earth, okay? The Gaia, the goddess of the earth, will give to your bones and your muscles and your sinews the millions of years of evolutionary power. The goddess of the air, Ethera, she will burn in your blood and help you to perceive the images of power and glory. And the goddess of waters, if it should be at the shore of the lake, if there would be a swimming craze, so the goddess of waters will give you into your blood, okay, this kind of into your skin, this kind of this watery, wet passion, yeah, okay. And Helios, the god of the sun, Hyperion, Perseus, Ra, Althura Mazda, or call them what you want, or call them even Solara, the goddess of the sun. She will burn in your nervous system. She will send a shower of enormous willpower into you. Okay, so like this would be a kind of poetic vision of this union of the individual soul with the oversoul of the planet and the cosmos, which would be guided by the Eros kosmogonus. And you may have noticed that I use a female aspect of this elementary power, that I talk about the goddesses more than about the gods. This is the secret of the holy marriage. I am a competitor, a man, a warrior, a hero, a participant of the games. Okay, so naturally, as there is a yin and yang attraction, the female aspects of nature would enter into my body and would love me, would experiencing this union, a kind of erotic ecstasy, if we use the word erotic in its old original sense of Eros kosmogonus, the third power, the third entity that has arisen while this earth became living. First there was Gaia the mother, and she created out of her body the heavens, Uranus. And then Eros came to the scene, and he started to create, and everything that was created ever since was created through this holy marriage of heaven and earth. So, ladies and gentlemen, so it is my own vision that if the body and the soul of a man, warrior, competitor, poet and philosopher, because as you shall see, it is not only enough to perform physically, you have to perform with your soul, to have a poem, to have a melody which you put on the altar of this locus, of this holy place, where the games, in a very sense of the word, become Olympic. Because what happens then, if you achieve the union of the body and soul with the elementary forces, with her female aspect, when they start to love you as a man, and naturally, you know, if you are really loved, if you are being really loved, how the powers are rising. All the men raise their chests and start to fly on the wings of the Eros kosmogonus. No? Then we can speculate. Then the gods are starting to look down with a certain aspect of envy, the male gods. And as you are educated competitor, participant of the games, you pay them a due worship, because you know you can never compete with the gods forever, continuously. But in certain moments, you can win their admiration and their love, and they will enter into your body to take part in this holy marriage. Okay? Yes, there's a certain aspect in various cultures which says that man has an advantage when compared with the gods, because gods are immortal, and so maybe they do not have this existential pressure to really enjoy a moment, because we are mortal man, and we know at this moment of love, of passion, of union, of ecstasy is unique. It will never come back. So we throw everything into it. And this may be something which the gods, due to the fact that they are immortal, do not experience in such sharp moment of necessity. Okay, necessity. And so they jump down, fly through the heavens like arrows and lightnings and waves, be it a Poseidon who rises from the sea into the body of this Olympic swimmer, be it Zeus who comes with a bolt of lightning into the soul of a marathon race runner who suddenly, almost at the end of his power, feels a lightning of passion, and new breath comes into his lungs, and his feet rise again in a kind of frenzy and madness and love and laughter. He runs and wins. Okay, these were the moments where the so-called Simchi, the union of God and man, was known in the old Olympic times. So why not again? Okay, so this was my kind of synchronic performance here with the Olympic Games that are now being opened or already in the first or second day in London. I hope this may open the human ear, and those who have ears behind their everyday ears will certainly understand and feel a kind of sorrow and melancholy that this old Olympic spirit has been lost under the pressure of the mare geometrica, of the measured world, of this body that has been kind of calculated mechanically and sometimes even supported by this drugs, by these kind of, in a certain sense, what are these drugs that some athletes by doping are using? They are products of chemistry. That means they are certainly taken out of the body of Mother Gaia, their substances, then they are twisted in the laboratories. As Francis Bacon has stated, we have to put Mother Gaia on the torture. We have to squeeze her, burn her, scorch them in the laboratories, and we have to pull out the secret out of her body so that, we know the secret laws of life. So this is something completely different, maybe even antagonistically different to this spiritual drugs, to this spiritual extra power which comes to the body of the competitor and into his soul if he loves Mother Gaia, the natural elements around him, and the ideas about the gods. So, with this I say, what should I say? May the old spirit of the Olympic Games win this time, and may those athletes and those artists and those philosophers, men and female, who know about him, gain again access to the media so that we together can raise this old European value of arete, kalos, agathos, and so on, in these difficult times where our young generations are desperately looking for some viable example which would unite the desire for action with the desire for meaning, with the desire for beauty, with the desire for kind of company. And this could be all then united in this Olympic philosophy, and not separating various kinds of minor commercialized enterprises. With this, I say, hail to the Olympic spirit, and hail to those who understand the Olympic philosophy, and hail to those who live it in their bodies and in their souls.